Ing. And verb. Bull.
Hey guys, how you going? I hope you're good today. We have got some weird, I don't know what this is. But anyway, let's have a look at what I've got here. Drew Hernandez said this cringe and ugly woman was literally flicking her tongue like a snake last night at the DNC. Oh. There's licking your lips and then there is, whatever that is.
Ing.
Well, it looks like she did it quite a few times. I don't know what's going on there. You can let me know what you think about this down below. There are some good comments. Is that Nancy Pelosi's daughter? I don't know, but there you go. Conservative Dan said the entire DNC convention reminds me of a snake pit full of evil demon and deviancy and communists. Oh, opioids and liquor give you cotton mouth? Oh, and pedestrian Zing said she's trying her best to avoid turning into a lizard in front of everyone. Oh, someone said it's cocaine, baby. She's on a good one. Oh, maybe that's who left the stuff at the White House. Who knows? Working Class Bro said, can we go back in time when men were the providers and women were the homemakers? Just think back to how things were back then. It was the best of times for everyone. Not having a crack at independent women, don't at me, calm your farm. But I agree. If you want to, for people who want to, I know when I was younger we were pressured to go to work, even if we had children. By people who didn't have children, by the way, who didn't understand. But anyway, Elon Musk said exactly, and then it dawned on me the declining birth rate is not just a simple math problem, it fundamentally de-incentivizes civilization to look forward. Farzad said the collapsing birth rate is actually way worse than you think. One of the biggest things I've realised since becoming a father 3 months ago is that I spend an obscene amount of time thinking about the future. This is because I want my child to have the best possible place to grow up in, and thus I spend way too much time looking at how society is functioning today and where the weaknesses are. What's becoming painfully clear is that everything is broken. Our government overspends like crazy and they never tell the truth. The corporations are way too bloated, rarely innovate, and they are more than comfortable lowering the quality over time while increasing profit margins. Our mainstream media is a national embarrassment and is nothing more than a propaganda machine for the government. I am now constantly filled with a sense of dread. It feels like a good future is almost impossible given the amount of stuff that's completely broken today. However, once I start thinking about the past and compare it to today, I realise that things are so much better than they used to be, so it gives me hope that a better future is possible with enough effort and pain. But here's the massive problem. Without a child, I would never have felt as motivated as I do now to make the future a better place. And then it dawned on me that the declining birth rate is not just a simple math problem, it fundamentally de-incentivises civilization to look forward. This means there are less people now, more than ever in recent recorded history, that don't have that child, making it painfully obvious how broken everything is, and how desperately we need to make everything better for our children. Instead, we are distracted by ever-increasing technological wonders that will be maximally optimized to draw your attention away from reality using AI algorithms. It's doing that now. We are distracted by amazing products and services and incredible destinations to visit. We are distracted by social media platforms that make it extremely difficult to stop paying attention to them. We are truly in a very, very dangerous place. We need more people speaking up about things that need to be fixed. We need more entrepreneurs tackling difficult problems. We need more public servants that have the people's best interests in mind. We need so much. But more important than all, we need more children. Children of the future, and without them the future will disappear. Literally. Thank you, Hanson C. Nelson, for the inspiration. Wow. I agree with most of that, except I don't know if it's better now than it was back then. I mean, technology makes things easier. Yes, we've got that one. Okay, Wall Street Apes said, how much worse do things need to get, America? Kroger is rolling out digital price tags that could increase based on how much they think they could get you to pay. If it's hot outside, we can raise the price of water, says grocery industry analysts. I wish I was kidding. Kroger, the multi-billion dollar grocery conglomerate, has recently begun partnerships with Microsoft and the AI company Intelligence Node to create technologies to better price gouge consumers. It's like the big bad wolf of grocery stores. All the better to price gouge you with, my dear. Together, the companies created the electronic shelving Label Edge, a digital price tag that employees can change at the press of a button. What's the problem with that, you ask? If it's hot outside, we can raise the price of water, says grocery industry analysts. But that's not even where it gets particularly alarming. Cameras are going to be placed outside these digital displays, so when you go pick your cereal, spelt wrong, facial recognition software could be assessing your age and gender and determining how much you're willing to pay for that cereal, there you go, based off your demographics. What makes us all worse is that Kroger is a grocery conglomerate. Kroger is Fred Meyer's, Food for Less, Ralph's, QFC, and name a few. And if the merger with Albertsons goes through, even more grocery stores will become Kroger's, meaning this technology will be hurting thousands of people across the US. Wow. Okay, so I think I pretty much read everything she just said. Okay, I just listened to it and I don't want to make you go through it twice. But there you go. Very interesting. Jack Straw says, is this legit? 25 babies, Heidi. Apparently sacrificed at the Chicago 2024 DNC. Oh, on a bus. Great. What, they have people just walking in to get one done? I don't know, it looked like an old lady and a young man. What are they doing? Dear God. I'll have a little listen.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are witnessing in real time a Planned Parenthood bus at the DNC in Chicago providing abortions to a predominantly black community. As you can see, black women getting on and off of this bus during this small clip. And this is from the party that says Black Lives Matter. Well, apparently Black Lives Matter until a black woman gets pregnant. Again, like I said, none of these at the border. Human sacrifice at the DNC. Ladies and gentlemen.
Interesting. That's her opinion, yep. I don't know, yeah, I agree with most of it. But I don't know, oh, seriously, we're being shown. It's horrible. I can't believe that 25 people will line up at a bus to get that done. I don't know, it's just insane. Matthew Kamanzuli said the government breaks the market, then promises to fix the market only to break it more. The Real Fly said Kamala will reduce the price of groceries if elected. Well, what about now? Surely she can do something now. Surely. Yeah, right.
We believe in a future where we lower the cost of living for America's families. And when I am president, I will bring down the cost of groceries by making sure markets are competitive and fair. We believe in a future.
Yep, we'll believe it when we see it, love. Kamala Harris, Headboard Harris. Wolf of X said, ever wonder what everyday life was like for people living 50 to 100 or more years ago? A rare thread. Here we go. That's a genuinely happy-looking family, USA, 1959. Crowded beach of Atlantic City, photographed in 1908. Dad showing off his skill to the surprise of his little daughter in Melbourne, Australia, 1940s. A snowball fight in Lytton, France in 1896. Housewife possesses a week's worth of groceries in 1947. She spent a total of $12.50 a week, not including milk, to buy her groceries. On this budget, she was able to feed herself, a husband, a 4-year-old twins, and a cat. Wow. That's pretty good. Okay, happy family outing at Chicken Bone Beach. Oh, this little one's not happy. He doesn't want his photo taken. A man takes a selfie using a stick of wood to activate the camera in 1957. A weightlifter holding a man over his head in 1948. San Francisco in 1906. Interesting. Are those wheels getting stuck in grooves in there? Oh, they're tram. Okay, they're tram grooves. Yep. I don't know. That footage looks unreal to me. Most of these, they've been touched or retouched or something. Crew of man unloading a banana boat in New York. Yeah, I don't know, because there's some blurry heads here. I don't know. Dublin, 1962. Miami Beach in the 1940s. Oh, very stylish indeed. Amsterdam in 1922. Where were these video cameras? Colour video cameras. I'm just asking questions, okay? I don't know what's going on here, but I don't know if I believe this. Kids remote learning during polio outbreak in the 1940s. Teachers read lessons over the radio. Like, I believe it, but, you know, some of them look a bit, unreal. Or maybe they're retouched. Wedding in 1960. Do not disturb sign. Colorized video from 1906 where children encounter a camera for the first time. Kids carrying cardboard for breakdancing, New York City, 1983. There you go. Going to have a bit of breakdancing and rap. Oh, more breakdancing. Yeah, they had cardboard. Wolf of X said listening to the radio on the beach circa 1940s. Women trainees of the LAPD practice firing their newly issued revolvers, 1948. Yeah, I don't know though. I mean, they can have the revolvers and everything and, you know, but I don't know where they're going to be running or chasing anyone with these things on and skirts. It's just my opinion. Don't come for me. Woman stands on a farmer's shoulders to emphasize the height of their corn crop in Minnesota, 1916. A rare negative reveals Times Square, New York City in colour, circa 1948. There you go. Berlin Express. What have we got? Howard, Capitol Theatre, Miss Youth Forum, cannot ride up. What? Chevrolet, Kinsey, blended whiskey. What's that say? I don't know. Anyway, there you go. Unemployed lumber worker goes with his wife to the bean harvest. Note social security number tattooed on his arm. Oregon, August 1939. That's the tattoo, social security. London in the 1930s. Bovril, Schweppes ginger ale. Gordon's gin. The Express, I think. Wow. High school students of 1981. Little before my time in high school. Surfing club contest, San Onofre, okay, 1963. Yeah, nice. Police officer unaware of the imminent danger in Chicago, 1959. It looks like the kids are about to hit him with some snowballs. A French woman with her baguette and 6 bottles of wine in Paris, 1945. I'm so sorry. But she's going home to have a good time with her 6 bottles of wine. Oh dear. I'm joking. Fifth Avenue, New York, 1929. Didn't think they had colour back then, but I don't know. New car shopping in the 1950s. I don't know why some of them look like nearly paintings. A bread delivery man with bags filled with baguettes on a snowy street in Quebec in 1977. Thank you for reading all the way through. Very interesting. But it goes back with the other posts on saying, you know, like, it'd be nice to go back to a time when things were simpler. Oh dear, we just got to get off social media. Okay. And I think the rest of this will be done on Rumble, because I'm not sure how much I can talk about on here. I'll have a little go. Australians versus the agenda. Moments ago, Sarah Hanson-Young openly mocks the suffering of Australian newborns as Senator Babbitt presents an urgency motion to protect infants being left to die on metal dishes. It was voted down, 32 no, 18 yes. Details of who voted will be posted in the comments section. Who did? These people voted no for the protection of human life from late-term abortions. Aylman Pine, Australian Greens. Birmingham, Liberal Party of Australia. Cox, Australian Greens. Gallagher, Australian Labor Party. Hanson-Young, Australian Greens. Kovacic, Liberal Party of Australia. McCarthy, Australian Labor Party. Pratt, Australian Labor Party. Sterry, Australian Labor Party. Urquhart, Australian Labor Party. Whish-Wilson, Australian Greens. Ayres, Australian Labor Party. Bragg, Liberal Party of Australia. Darmanian, Australian Labor Party. Green, Australian Labor Party. Hodgins May, Australian Greens. Lyons, Australian Liberal Party. McKim, Australian Greens. Shoebridge, Australian Greens. Stewart, Australian Labor Party. Walsh, Australian Labor Party. Wong, Australian Labor Party. Billick, Australian Labor Party. Brown, Australian Labor Party. Faruqi, Greens. Grogan, Australian Labor Party. Hume, Liberal Party of Australia. McAllister, Australian Labor Party. David Pocock, Independent. John Steele, Greens. Tyrell, Independent. And Waters, Australian Greens. That is disgusting. Now watch this lady go past him and stick her tongue out on her way past while he's talking about this. Little babies being left in metal dishes after they're born because nobody wants them. This is such a shame, especially to people who can't have children, who would probably love to adopt. You know? I'm sure there's plenty of people out there who can't, who would love to adopt. Okay, where is it? Where is it happening? It's about to happen very soon. He's talking about the same thing I was just discussing. And she is about to walk across behind him. There she goes and sticks her tongue out on the way past. You'll see it in slow motion. I believe they're going to slow it. Yep, here we go. Horrible looking woman. I think we see it again. Do we? Or is that it? That's all I need to see. That's horrible. What a horrible woman. While he's talking about the children, we'll see it quickly again, I think. Or has it started from the beginning? No, that's it. Okay. So they voted no for the protection of human life from late term. Oh, these people said yes to the protection of human life from late term abortions. Askew of the Liberal Party of Australia wanted to protect children. Canavan, the Nationals, wanted to protect children. Fawcett, the Liberal Party of Australia, wanted to protect children. Hughes from the Liberal Party of Australia. Mackenzie, the Nationals. O'Sullivan, Liberals. Babette, United Australia. Cash, Liberal Party of Australia. Hanson, Pauline Hanson, One Nation. McDonald, the Nationals. McLaughlin, Liberal Party of Australia. Rennick, the Liberal Party of Australia. Brockman, Liberal Party of Australia. Duniam, Liberal Party of Australia. Henderson, Liberal Party of Australia. McGrath, Liberal Party of Australia. Jacinta Price, Country Liberal Party. And Roberts, Pauline Hanson, One Nation. Malcolm Roberts. They voted to protect them. And these voted not to. And that should be shared. I think that's disgusting. Okay, Alexandra Marshall said, you need to get ready, you need to prepare for this. They've decided on Mpox. The WHO, headed by non-medical Dr. Tedros, is just a mouthpiece for Bill Gates. They're now saying monkeypox is of global concern. We see what's coming. They're going to introduce another global lockdown right before the US election, right? Of course they are. You don't understand that that's what the last one was about too. Oz Integrity said Bob Katter calls the Olympics for exactly what it's become. Love this guy. Let's hear. What does he say?
Doesn't federal government backing of Brisbane's Olympics confiscate $30 billion off North and Central Queensland's coal and copper miners, cane and cattle farmers, giving it to the IOC, whose Paris opening ceremony was, I quote, an orgiastic pagan ritual denigrating Christianity? Treasurer, didn't Christians abolish slavery, create from a brutal imperium, Pax Romana, from the Dark Ages, the Renaissance? Didn't communism murder 78 million people? Didn't Christian Gorbachev, the Pope, and Charlie Wilson's Christians abolish communism? Didn't pagan rituals sacrifice children to the tree and crocodile gods? Do such rituals still live on, Mr. Treasurer? Doesn't federal government backing...
I like that he actually said it. Good on him. Okay, Polybard said another day, another leftard projecting their own sins onto others. It's about the only thing that the left are consistent on anymore. Media Watch said ex-owner Elon Musk is increasingly using his platform to spread misinformation and inflame social division. Can governments and regulators tame the erratic media mogul? Yeah, this is insane. Going on about Elon Musk and Trump, they're panicking. That's what they're doing. They don't want the truth coming out. Okay, what was this in response to? Well, ABC breaking the company plans to build a 10 gigawatt, 12,400 hectare solar farm in the Northern Territory to transport electricity to Darwin via an 800-kilometre overhead transmission line, then on to Singapore through a subsea cable. This is freaking ridiculous. Seriously. Australia-Asia Powerlink project in the remote Northern Territory here in Australia. Lisa said, owned by billionaires like Cannon Brooks and Turnbull. Malcolm Turnbull was one of our Prime Ministers, and funded by you, hard-working Australian taxpayers. But you don't own it. Get the picture, everyone? Thanks to Labor, Teals, Greens, China and the billionaires are laughing all the way to the bank. Don't look up, just shut up and watch MAFS and The Block and get back to work tomorrow. You're here to make the rich richer. That's your role. So this is what they do, okay, for the green, to make everything sustainable and... Oh my God. They cut down millions of trees to do this. Okay. Oh dear God. Someone help. Where is Superman when you need him? Cat Turd, slapping their forehead, said, Benny Johnson said, Michelle Obama, Trump wants to take away the freedom to become a mother through IVF like I did. I don't think so, love. I don't think men can give birth at all, even with IVF. I know they can't. Don't worry, I'm being smarty pants here. Okay, let's have a little listen.
Taking away our freedom to control our bodies, the freedom to become a mother through IVF like I did, taking away our freedom to control.
I think they'll say anything just to pretend they've done something, you know what I mean, like IVF. I'm sticking up for you because I've had it done. Oh dear God. I don't think a man can have IVF anyway. Ron said, I'm pretty sure I'm positive, okay? They can't. Ron said RFK has to slow walk his endorsement of Trump in order to convince his supporters to back Trump too. His team has indicated that we should be seeing this take place over the next few days. That'll be very interesting. Cat Turd said, lol, sheep. Paul Hookham said, do I have this right? The economy is great under Biden in July 2024. It's great. It's fantastic, you know. Kamala's going to fix the economy in August 2024. Yeah, she's going to do it. But it was great in July, wasn't it? According to them, you know, according to nobody else. Is the economy great at all? It's a disaster. And what happens in America affects the rest of the world because the American president is leader of the free world. So if anyone ever questions my interest, that's why. Sudden Unexpected said Pauline Hanson had the right idea. I would not put that shit in my body. You know what she's talking about? Yep. I'll go over that on Rumble, actually. Okay, for Rumble, we're going to play Pauline Hanson saying, I'm not putting that shit in my body.
The government has done to you. This is what the bureaucrats have done to you. You led like sheep to the slaughter. You were led like sheep to the slaughter over having this vaccination against your will. If you wanted to have the vaccine, that was your choice. But when people were forced and they lost their jobs because they had to have the vaccine, that's what I'm angry about. That's what needs to be exposed here. People's liberty and their rights were stripped from them. I said at the beginning of the vaccine rollout that I would not put that shit into my body. So did many other Australians, but they had no choice. This is what the government has done to you. This is what the...
Well, I'm lucky I didn't, and I don't want it, and I would not do it at all. So there you go. I was just lucky. Don't you worry about that. Said these blokes didn't pay the ultimate sacrifice so weak governments could give away our country. I had to rephrase that. Didn't make sense. These guys didn't die for us to just roll over and take what we're being dished out right now, guys. This is not... They would be rolling in their graves at what's going on right now. But not to fear. Just vote Trump 2024. The opinionated black woman auntie said, remember kids, diversity is our strength. The bail hearing today was at Penrith Local Court and bail was denied. This filthy rock spider has 3 kids and 1 on the way. Now, rock spider is another word for pedo here in Australia. Okay, we call them rock spiders. Disturbing claim, boy 13 begged passers-by for help after he was allegedly... raped by father of 3 at knife point in Mount Druitt train station car park. Train station park. Oh dear God. I know where that is. A young boy was allegedly attacked at knife point in Sydney Park, begged passers-by for help after the terrifying attack, a court has heard. Father of 3, Malak Ahmad, 33, was reportedly refused bail on Wednesday after he allegedly lured a 13-year-old boy from Mount Druitt Station to a nearby park shortly after 1:15 a.m. last Thursday. He allegedly threatened the boy with a knife and attacked him before fleeing the scene in a white van. The boy then desperately flagged down drivers to ask where the police station was so that he could report his alleged assault, as a court heard. Police arrested Ahmad on Duke Street in Mount Druitt at 6:20 p.m. on Tuesday. He was taken to Mount Druitt Police Station where he was charged with aggravated sexual intercourse with a child between 10 and 14 and intentionally touching a child between 10 and 16, a spokesperson for New South Wales Police said. Ahmad's defence lawyer, Aqib Taved, told Mount Druitt local court that his client intends to fight the charges. Oh, send him home. Send him back. See you later. As soon as you do that, any crime, see ya. Go home. Don't come back. Ah, dear. Margaret AP1 said Obama's corrupt pay-for-play, criminal fraud, sold out America and screwed the people. Will the real Brandon please stand up? Make no mistake, the Islam-loving, American-hating, Marxist bastard and the shadow dictator behind the 2020 election, taking it, hang the infiltrator and take America back. Oh, I don't know if you're allowed to say that. Chicago Ray said Twitter under Jack Dorsey took this video down. Barack Obama ordered the unmasking of General Flynn and illegally wiretapped Trump Tower, which is treason. We were never this divided as a country before Obama stepped foot in the White House. Obamagate was way bigger than Watergate.
Trump will not be president.
Highly critical, biased text messages between senior FBI officials Peter Strzok and Lisa Page.
There will be no question about the outcome of this election.
And she got ahead of herself. This utterly stunned this campaign.
Head home. You should get some sleep. We'll have more to say tomorrow.
Our constitutional democracy enshrines the peaceful transfer of power.
The peaceful transition of power is one of the hallmarks of our democracy. We want to do everything we can to help you succeed, because if you succeed, then the country succeeds.
These declassified documents that were just released.
Officials in the Obama administration were asking for the identities to be unmasked of Americans.
Unmasking of aides and staffers of the incoming president.
The basic charge, political spying.
To disrupt the peaceful transfer of power.
Unmasking of American citizens it could be a real problem.
Why is it that the unmasking of Flynn somehow ended up in the pages of the Washington Post?
I know nothing about those moves to investigate Michael Flynn.
The vice president said that yesterday, and then the last name on this list is Joe Biden.
The Obama administration was bitter. They wanted to do everything they could to undermine the incoming Trump administration.
Really designed to sabotage and really upend the new administration.
An outgoing president and a vice president and a Washington Post columnist and the FBI setting up an incoming administration. Wow, that's a real conspiracy, and nobody wants to talk about it.
True. Okay, Pauline Hanson said an Aboriginal elder has slammed plans to transfer a large plot of land in remote Queensland to an Indigenous group as a waste of time and money. Definitely. Aboriginal elder slams the land grab. Because they're not getting it. The Aboriginals aren't getting the land. Okay, and then we've got this one, Dan Scavino Jr. said, take a listen to this exchange between 45 and Theo Von from this past weekend in Bedminster, New Jersey. Okay, let's have a listen.
Yeah, I noticed at the events you don't drink, and you don't drink or smoke, right?
I don't drink or smoke.
You never have?
No, I never have. I had a great brother who taught me a lesson, don't drink. And he said, don't smoke. He smoked and he drank, and he was a great guy. He was a very handsome guy.
Is he older? He was older?
Quite a bit older, yeah. And he had a problem with alcohol and smoke a lot. But, I tell people, no drugs, no drinking, no cigarettes.
Yeah.
I tell that to my kids all the time. I'd say, no drugs, no drinking, no smoke. And
it was tough.
He'd always tell me, he'd say, never. So he was, really old enough that you would look up to somebody. And I'd look up to him anyway.
Did you admire him?
Yeah, I admired so much about him. He had so much going. He had the look. He
what was
had
his name?
Unbelievable personality, like an incredible personality.
What was his name, Donald?
His name was Fred Trump. And he had a problem with alcohol. He got addicted to it because they say alcohol is tougher than drugs to get off of. I don't know if you've ever heard that.
I'm in recovery, actually. I've been in recovery, so like most of the last 10 years.
From alcohol?
From drugs and alcohol.
So which is worse?
For me, drugs is the problem, but if I have a drink, then it's tougher for me to prevent myself from getting
it sets off a chain.
Yeah.
But which is harder to quit? I've heard alcohol is harder to quit than drugs, if that makes sense. I don't know.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I can only imagine because it's probably more readily available.
And it's social, and you're sitting and everyone's drinking and all.
Yeah, rarely do you go to a dinner and everybody's eating Xanaxes or something, for appetizers. Usually people are having like a mint julep or something a little fancier, Negroni I just learned about.
Right.
But yeah.
So you have a problem with that then?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
It's been in my family. My family, it's like, Yeah.
Can
it's
you
tough.
can you stay away from it?
Yeah, I've done a good job. I mean,
So how long have you been off?
I go to recovery meetings. I've been off most recently a little over 2 years.
Do you ever go back on?
Yeah, I've had stints where I go back on
And you don't control it?
it's tough. It goes downhill
No
pretty quick.
kidding. So you
think it's going to be easy.
You think you're controlling it?
And then you're damn
Boy,
you're
that's
doing go-kart and racing with hookers and stuff. It gets bad.
Just not to do it, right?
Right. So then in the end, you're like, I have to not do it. Did you see, like, with your brother, could you see it or anything? Like,
Oh, yeah.
Man.
I
that's
was
a bummer.
amazed because he had so much going, he had everything going. I think it happened in college at a fraternity maybe, or I don't know, somewhere along the line it happened. And all of a sudden, this is not unique. This is a very common story, unfortunately. But and then the family would see it and start to notice it. And it didn't get better. It didn't get better. I was amazed. He lived for so long in bad conditions, in terms of, I was amazed that his body could hold out. It held out and it had bad moments. But his body was unbelievably strong that it could withstand this.
Yeah, it's a body. Your body's just so resilient.
Yeah.
Do you remember the last time that you saw him or spent with him?
I do, and
I'm sorry to ask you about it. Is it all right?
No. It's well, the reason it's good talking about it is it might help other people. If it helps one other person, it's worth the conversation. Frankly.
We talk about that stuff a lot on our podcast.
Yeah.
A lot of our audience struggles or has struggled with alcoholism, addiction, intimacy disorders, all types of stuff. So it's like it's pretty kind of normal conversation. But
the interesting thing is, and I tell people, so I never had a cigarette, and I've never had a glass of alcohol. And my brother was incredible. He would tell me, because he knew he had a problem, and he'd say, don't ever drink, don't ever smoke. He'd always add smoking, because he did smoke a lot, which is, not very healthy. But he'd say, don't ever drink, don't ever drink. He'd tell me every time, I said, don't ever drink, because he knew he had this addiction. And I never had a glass of alcohol. Never, ever did I have a glass of alcohol because of him. And I would say that if I did drink, I could, conceivably be the type of personality that would have, like you, that would have a problem. But I never had. And the only thing I say to people is, if too late for the people that you're talking about, but if you don't drink, you don't miss it. I mean, I don't even think about alcohol or
right. It's not a part of your world.
I don't think about cigarettes. I don't think about any of that. If you don't take drugs or if you don't have alcohol, it's real easy not to drink it. It's when I had a friend who went to the Wharton School of Finance with me. He was a very smart guy.
Where is it, Wharton School?
That's in Philadelphia. That's at Penn.
Oh, yeah. Rocky.
Right. And it's a great school, great business school. And it's part of the University of Pennsylvania, the business school. At
it's nice down there.
Yeah.
My friend's brother went there or something.
Well,
we ate near there once.
Then he was smart because it's a great school. But this person that I met, he hated the taste of scotch. Hated it. Couldn't stand it. But he insisted on having it because he felt it was important to be able to drink. I said, no, just don't drink. He said, to be successful in business, you have to sort of interact and you have to drink. And I said, don't do it. Anyway, he became an unbelievable alcoholic, uncontrollable alcoholic.
Oh, I thought you meant like one of the
died.
best.
Yeah, and he died. He was but he hated the taste of scotch.
And he still
he couldn't live without it.
Wow.
Literally.
Well, I think I notice a lot of like in the recovery rooms and stuff, it's a lot of people that they're missing something inside of them. And so they take on like, so they want to try and fill it up with something else.
Yeah.
Do you remember the last time that you spent with your brother?
I do. And he'd have periods where he'd get sick, very sick. And we thought we'd lose him or we lost him. Then he'd get better. And that happened 5 or 6 times. I mean, you thought you lost him. And then he got better. And it was amazing. I mean, he was, certainly very strong in that sense. And I just tell people it's so tragic. Don't drink. Just don't drink.
Yeah.
And you're not going to have a problem. Like even you, if you didn't drink, you would never, but you probably, maybe you wouldn't be successful like you are. It's part of your story, right?
It's helped me a lot. Yeah, because I don't know what would happen probably. I think it's just too risky.
It is risky.
What's something that you miss about him, or like that? What's something that you miss about him, Fred?
Well, he was wise in a sense. I mean, think of it. He's got this problem, and it was very important for him to convey to me not to have this problem. And I couldn't have been successful if I had that problem.
Yeah.
If I had that problem, and I think maybe I'm a personality type where I could have had the problem if I drank. But if you don't drink, you're never going to have it. I mean, I don't miss when I see somebody light up a cigarette and just they're in heaven. I don't miss that at all.
It's weird. It's so it's very Native
Isn't it-
American too.
isn't it
sometimes.
crazy?
Bizarre. And you know, I think sometimes our older brothers, they kind of like they take the speed bumps for us, like
Yeah.
as younger brothers, so that we don't have to. You know what I'm saying? Does that you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I
like my
think
brother
it's
went through a lot of stuff so that I didn't have to go through it, and then I get to see him and learn.
Is he okay now?
Yeah, he's doing great now. Yeah, he's doing great now. But it's like, yeah, that's one of the blessings I think of having an older brother. is
Well, you
like-
can learn through history too, whether even if it's not a brother, it's
Yeah.
by watching other people. I mean, you can see if you have a friend who's an alcoholic, or even just by reading about people, you can learn.
Oh yeah.
It doesn't necessarily have to be a brother, but in this case, it was very personal. It was a brother, and I learned not to drink, and I learned not to smoke cigarettes. Now, I don't know that I would have smoked cigarettes. I probably would have drank. I think, there's no reason not to drink, but I had a reason because he told me, just
that was it.
Don't do it. Yeah.
Yeah. That was kind of a blessing then, huh?
Yeah.
And where did you guys ever do anything fun together? Like one nice memory that you have with him?
He had a great talent for flying. He was a pilot.
Oh, sweet.
And he loved it. And
Did you
he
ever fly with him?
I did. I flew with him. He was a great pilot and a very talented. Other pilots would come to his house to study with him.
Watch him fly.
And he was really talented at that. But ultimately, he had to give that because of the alcohol. He had to give that up, which was a hard thing for him to do, but he had to give that up.
Well, that was interesting. Okay, Garrett Tenney said heavy police and SWAT response to what I'm told is a gunman barricaded in a store about 4 blocks from the DNC at the United Center in Chicago. Police chopper in the air, armoured vehicle rolled up, SWAT team with shields. What's going on here? Is Antifa out and about again, are they? That would be the only... them or the Palestinian protesters who it's pretty much argued that they could be. How do I shut this? Okay. Oh, it's gone back to the beginning. They could be Antifa anyway, Palestinian protesters. But anyway, that's just my thoughts. You can let me know what you think down below. I hope you have a good morning, afternoon or evening, and I'll be back very soon. Bye, guys.